What's going on, everyone? It's Evan back here again, and it is officially July. You probably already know that if you own a calendar, and we are past the halfway point of the year. And so I was thinking back to all the games that I have played so far this year and wanted to kind of rank all of them in terms of how much I've enjoyed them. And I think it's fun to look back. I tend to keep a list of every game I have played each year. Usually I list them by if I beat them, but this year has been a little tougher for me just because I've been really busy. We're planning a wedding, a lot of things going on in life. So it's a little bit of a lower total to start off this year and to start off for the first video of this kind on this channel. So without further ado, I'm not going to ramble anymore. I'm not going to take any more of your time. This is games I have played. A lot of them I have beaten, not all of them. They're going to be ranked not on whether I beat them or not. And yeah, let's talk a little bit about it. All right, so I have 15 games here to talk about, and the first one is one I recorded on the channel, and that is Monster Hunter Rise. So I got this game when I went out game hunting because I wanted to try it out because some friends had wanted to get Monster Hunter Wilds, and I had never played a Monster Hunter game before. This was my first experience, and I think it was a good experience. I just didn't really stick with the game. I spent a lot of time learning the systems, and I did enjoy the monster hunting for what it's worth. However, it wasn't something I could see myself doing over and over and over again. I know there's a lot of repetition involved with Monster Hunter, and the hunts were fun, don't get me wrong, but going back and doing them over and over again, I can understand the appeal. I do like grindy games, but it wasn't hitting at the right moment. So maybe I'll come back to this game. I'm not really too sure, but I could definitely understand the appeal. So I'm glad to have finally played a Monster Hunter game. It's okay to say they're not for me. But yeah, Monster Hunter Rise, number 15. Okay, so number 14. I am a huge Resident Evil fan, and I just never got around to this game. There's a couple games that I never got around to in the Resident Evil franchise, and that's Resident Evil 3 Remake. And I love the GameCube version and or the PS1 version, but I played it on GameCube. That game is just classic survival horror at its peak. That classic Resident Evil 1, 2, 3, that trilogy, I would even extend it to Code Veronica, are like amazing survival horror for what they were at the time. A kind of survival horror that everyone seems to be trying to imitate again these days. But this game, in my opinion, on its surface is good. It's RE Engine, Resident Evil, third person. It's a solid game. It's a good game. You can't really say it's a bad game. It's just not a good remake. Just wasn't enough. It cut a bunch of content from the original Resident Evil 3. Nemesis doesn't appear nearly as much. There are missing levels. There's missing story beats. There's missing bosses. There's just not enough here. I beat this game in about 4.5 hours. Good game. It's just not a good enough remake. And that kind of sucks to say because there was a lot of really cool ideas in the original. For example, the active choices you can make where time would stop and you had to make a split-second decision. Or in the original game, there's a lot of moments that are actually randomly generated, which added some cool replay value. Cool, interesting opportunities for a remake to expand and improve upon them. This game just plays it really safe. It didn't really take any risks, so kind of sad to have this one all the way down at number 14. It's just about as much of a disappointment as everyone said it was. At number 13, I have the Castlevania Dominus collection, but it's only one of the games in here, and it's Dawn of Sorrow. Last year was my first venture into the Metroidvania Castlevania games. I had played Symphony of the Night, and I played Aria of Sorrow, and I actually liked Aria of Sorrow better. So when this came out, I was waiting for the physical from Limited Run. I was really excited to jump into Dawn of Sorrow, and it's just kind of more of the same. I wouldn't say it's bad. It's actually very good. However, it didn't hit with me quite the same that Aria of Sorrow is. I'm going to say that a couple times. Some games just hit at the right time. I was really in a big Metroidvania kick last year. Didn't really carry over by the time this one actually arrived at my doorstep. So Dawn of Sorrow, I was about halfway through it. So I'll probably go back and finish it by the end of the year. But I'm going to slot that one in at number 13. Next up, Sonic and Shadow Generations. I'm actually just counting Shadow Generations. I've already played Sonic Generations. That game is great. But I did want to play Shadow. It's one of the best 3D Sonic experiences I've had in years, besides going back to Sonic Adventure 2, because nothing's topping that game for me. But Shadow Generations was a really good time. I liked the open world sections, and some of the levels, like the dedicated levels, were really great. I don't know their names from memory. However, I can remember there's a level where you're like soaring on an eagle, or you grab onto an eagle and fly around. That was really cool. There's another one where you had to, the level starts and you drop in on like some rails, and there was some time challenges, which I had a lot of fun with on that level. There's some really good content in this. Shadow is a shorter experience, but it's really jam-packed with very enjoyable levels and challenges, and I had a great time playing it. It also was just a nice length. I didn't have to spend too much time on it, which is good for a Sonic game because I kind of can only play a Sonic game for so long. I think that's fair. Definitely recommend. At number 11, I might get some flack for this one, but as soon as you mention this series, people are going to kind of be on their tiptoes with heightened awareness, and that is Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition. I have nothing against Xenoblade, but I kind of dropped the first game, and I have dropped this game. Granted, it was a very busy time. I didn't know it when I bought the game. I was very excited to play this. It has always interested me since it came out on the Wii U, but it just ended up being a very busy time in my life, so I didn't really get to give this the chance that it deserved. So I'm not really going to pass judgment on it, other than saying it's great. I like the combat a lot more. It's a lot more active than the first game. It's kind of like the opposite of the first game, whereas the story in that one is a lot better. In this one, it's okay. It's interesting enough for me to keep going, but the gameplay, I think the exploration where you are going around panels and looking for different objectives and whatnot in each of those little panels isn't my favorite type of open world gameplay, but I also didn't get the mech in this. So again, I'm not trying to pass any judgment early on this game, and I haven't played it enough to do so. So I will get back to Xenoblade Chronicles X probably when they release that Switch 2 patch that we kind of know is already coming. So when that happens, I'm definitely going to pop this game back in. This video has me thinking about why I drop games and why things kind of get in the way and I end up putting stuff down. So I want to ask you guys, what are the common reasons that you end up dropping games? And maybe there's something that I'm doing that I don't realize. So let me know what you guys think. Have you recognized any patterns that lead you to drop games? This is just stuff that's going on in your life. Leave a comment down below and let's talk about it. Entering into the top 10, we have the Dead Space remake. I used to play Dead Space on Xbox 360. I rented it from Hollywood Video, so it was cool to come back to this game. The early levels definitely were pretty nostalgic for me. I didn't get too far before I had to return the game. I was pretty young. Moving on into the later levels, I definitely appreciated the story. I thought that was the best part of the game and it kept me going. However, the gunplay wasn't really doing it for me. I know this is going to be a little bit of a hot take. Dead Space is all about dismembering your enemies, and I just don't think that was my favorite gameplay style in the world. So I had a good time with it, and I put it back, and I'm glad I played through it. Number 10 on my list, but I don't love this game as much as other people do. At number 9, we have some boomer shooter goodness, and that is Dusk. I really love Doom. I really love Quake, as you can probably see. I have the unnecessary N64 and Super Nintendo versions of these. Dusk is a really nice tribute to the classic boomer shooter. It feels like a proper sequel to Quake. It feels like the first Quake game, but like modern. The setting is really cool. You're like in the woods and running away from like a religious cult that's gone crazy. The weapons are super fun, and at every occasion, it just kind of feels like a love letter to classic first-person shooters. One of my favorite weird features of the game is like if you jump backwards diagonally, you pick up momentum, so you could like bunny hop at 100 miles an hour. Just feels like it's like an homage to one of those weird glitches you'd find in an id Software first-person shooter back in the 90s. Dusk is one of those super cozy games for me that I play between games or when I'm not feeling like getting too invested in something. So I haven't beaten this, working my way through it, and really enjoying it. I highly recommend you pick this up. This goes on sale in the eShop for pretty cheap, and the physical copy isn't actually that bad either. At number 8, I have the Shadow of the Colossus remake. What's more to be said about Shadow of the Colossus? It's an insanely beautiful game. This remake is drop dead gorgeous. The game is one of high highs and low lows, and that's exactly how it was supposed to be made. You're gonna go fighting this giant Colossus or this insane boss battle, and then there's like not much gameplay after that. You kind of just go and walk to the next one. That's exactly how the game is set up. I always compare this game to No More Heroes in a way. They're kind of similar, and I love No More Heroes. I had a good time with this one. Once I got to the end of it, it really jumped for me. I thought the ending was like excellent, and it took it to another level in my book. So number 8, Shadow of the Colossus. Go play it if you haven't already. Number 7 is the newest game on this list, and it's Mario Kart World. Mario Kart World is an extremely fun feeling game. It feels distinctly different from Mario Kart 8. There is a very clear skill ceiling, which I absolutely love. There are more ways to win than just getting lucky items, and it feels great. Overall, I just think the game feels great. I have fun driving around in the open world. The races are nice. I do love playing Knockout Tour with my fiance. We've had a good time with this game so far, but it's not my favorite Mario Kart ever, and I do have issues with it. Those intermission tracks really don't do it for me. I do not have any fun really playing on those. They're just straight lines for the most part, and you could try to make the most out of them, but I would much rather play 3 laps on every course. Hopefully one day we'll get a patch to fix that. I am also of the camp that thinks the open world does need something to bring it together. It's fun to go around and drive and find those P switches, but if push comes to shove, I'm going to turn the game on and play it for 20 minutes. I'm not just going to drive around. I'm going to do a Grand Prix and then be done with the game, or put it down and go wherever I need to go. It definitely feels like it's going to be a console long project for Nintendo and the Switch 2. It's a great game at its core. So Mario Kart World at number 7. At number 6, I have a game that I do not own physically. I played it on Game Pass, and that is Doom: The Dark Ages. Doom: The Dark Ages, I have a whole video on. I've defended it. I just feel like it got a lot of criticism unfairly, that it was being compared to a game that it just wasn't. I really applaud that id made a game that is different and distinct from Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal. I don't know, I just had a great time with this one. It still moves pretty fast, the parrying is a nice addition, and the guns are excellent this time around. You might not love the open world structure. I kind of varied by the day. There was one day where I picked the game up and I felt the need to 100% every level. A couple days later, I was just going through and grabbing what was on the main path. I think the Dark Ages is definitely the worst of the Doom reboot trilogy, but it's still a great game in itself. Coming in at number 5, we have Rhythm Heaven on DS. I bought this game back in 2008 or 2009 when it came out. Loved it back then. In 2025, I'd love it even more. And yes, as soon as they announced the sequel, I ran to grab this game before the prices went up, and I beat it in like 2 days. I absolutely smashed through this game. Every waking moment I had where I wasn't doing something, I was hopelessly addicted to Rhythm Heaven. And what's really fun and what made this a great experience for me is, in the time since I had this game as a kid and now, I've learned to play instruments and become a better musician. So it was very rewarding to feel that progress musically in this game. Very personal to me, but I had a really, really fun time with Rhythm Heaven. At number 4, I have the best Metroidvania I have played, and that's Prince of Persia and the Lost Crown. It takes a lot for me to buy a Ubisoft game. I do not jive with Ubisoft. I don't like their practices. I don't like most of their games. Their open world things don't. I'm not really an Assassin's Creed guy other than Black Flag, but Prince of Persia Lost Crown blew me away. The world in this game is beautiful and so much fun to traverse. The platforming is like Celeste level perfection. It is absolutely excellent. And the combat, simple but deep and kind of tricky, with a parry system that rewards taking risks, and some decent customization in how you can upgrade your character. My favorite part about this game is actually the boss fights. They're not easy. Actually, it would be pretty difficult to beat any of them on your first time around. They're almost Souls-like in a way. You really need to recognize patterns. There's a factor of trial and error here, and the game asks the player to get better in order to beat these bosses, and I really appreciate that. It's a shame that Ubisoft pretty much pulled the plug on this game and the studio that made it, but if you can pick up a copy, it's really, really cheap and well worth your time. The only thing I would say about this game that I wasn't a huge fan of is the story. But I guess it's somewhat memorable because I can still remember the characters and what happened. So it's not bad by any stretch of the imagination. And really quick, guys, if you're enjoying this video and you like game collecting content, game reviews, I would really appreciate if you hit that like and subscribe button if you enjoy this video, because there's going to be a lot more chilled out gaming discussions just like this in the future. Into the top 3 here. At number 3 is the game I just beat most recently. That is Cyberpunk 2077 on Switch. I bought this game back in 2020, was disappointed by it. Flash forward to 2025, it's a whole different game, and I'm playing it on Switch too. And it was really, really fun. Really nice story-driven experience. I think the combat isn't my favorite. I did kind of like my ninja build that I went for with a katana. I was like destroying people. That was fun. The gunplay is good. I wouldn't say it's great, but the story in the world is really what carry this game into excellence. That's why I put it at number 3. Had a great time playing Cyberpunk. The second best game I played all year is Resident Evil 7. For whatever reason, I never picked up this game when it came out. I don't know, maybe it was the first person point of view. I thought it was weird for Resident Evil, but this is so good. It's beautiful, it's scary, the plot is interesting and different, and the characters, there's intrigue all over the game. You really want to know what exactly is going on because you pretty much know from the start that you're not being told the whole truth. But besides that different perspective, this is Resident Evil at its core. It's item management, unlocking doors, rationing your ammo and your resources. I love that kind of gameplay, and Resident Evil 7 just absolutely knocked it out of the park for me. I didn't play any of the DLC on here. I kind of just looked it up. I don't play a ton of DLC for whatever it's worth. I did play Phantom Liberty. Sometimes I like to leave little crumbs for games if I want to come back to them to play them later. So maybe I'll come back to the DLC at some point this year if I want to just, you know, jump into Resident Evil 7 for an hour or two. And you'll never be able to guess number one, except you will. It's Claire Obscure Expedition 33. I'm sure I'm not the first person who's called this their favorite game of the year so far. I'm not going to be the first person to declare it the game of the year of the entire year. But man, this game is so special. It is so good in every way. I have been obsessed with the soundtrack. I have been obsessed with rewatching some of my favorite scenes, which I won't spoil here. This game has one of the best openings I have ever seen in any game, full stop. And it was just a really, really amazing moment to see the gaming community coalesce around this game, especially coming out the same week as Oblivion. I think there are a few moments in gaming where you get to play something great, and there's some even fewer where you get to realize as you're playing it that this one is going to go down as being one of the greats. And that's what Claire Obscure Expedition 33 is. It's one of the greats, in my opinion. This will probably be the last time I talk about this game for a while because I have glazed it through the roof. Everybody else has glazed it through the roof. But really, come on, it's on Game Pass. If you haven't tried it yet, please give it a shot. It's so good. It's so good. And if there's any game that's going to get turn-based combat back into the masses, it's this game. I've always considered this game a little bit of a blend of Paper Mario and Final Fantasy, Persona, and Sekiro, and I think that is a winning combination, and other companies need to take notice, and I think they are taking notice. It'll be a little weird if we saw the next Final Fantasy kind of copy from this game, but I almost hope it does. Anyway, guys, that's all I have for this video. Let me know what your favorite games of this year have been. Leave me a comment. Is it one of the games I just mentioned? Let me know. Let's start a discussion, and hit the subscribe button if you have not already. With that, that's all from me.